If she's going out, it's a deal breaker for me.
Huge red flag. Same
That for me, it's a deal breaker.
I totally agree.
Why
Like,
is that a deal breaker? Is it because it makes you insecure?
It has nothing to do with insecurity. It's
What
just
is it?
this is a dream world hypothetical scenario. Girls really don't be hitting up guys like this. Would you be okay with your long-term monogamous partner going to a nightclub, bar, or party type environment where throughout the course of the night he's going to get approached, flirted with, and sexually pursued by numerous attractive women, some of which are more attractive than you and could potentially be a better partner than you, and these women are buying him drinks, getting him drunk, and enthusiastically want to sleep with him that night and steal him away from you? You're going to tell me you'd be okay with that?
No, not with that. Definitely no.
So you can see how this can be a little contradictory, because none of you would be okay with it, right? But then you say guys should be okay with girls going out all the time.
We were receiving criticism for saying like it's a deal breaker if a girl's regularly going to clubs without us. That situation that he just described that you guys wouldn't be okay with happening to your boyfriend, that happens to women all the time.
Think about it. Woman
Which
getting
is
hit
why
on.
we're saying we're not okay with our long-term partners putting themselves in situations like that.
And here we go again. The tactic never fails. When it comes to the blame game, these Western women are always the first out the gate. But here's a clear reason for that. They're the kind of people who press the button on a game show without even knowing the answer. As soon as someone presents a coherent, well thought out scenario, it's obvious to everyone watching that they've never come close to considering what men actually think. Cinema and TV have become so female focused that they are utterly unprepared to take on the simplest argument. The situation outlined in this podcast occurs on a nightly basis. The fact is that guys usually go to the club to get laid. It's not rocket science. Anyone familiar with the industry knows it's an environment tailored for singles, and when you're in a supposedly committed relationship, there's no difference between a night out drinking, surrounded by guys, and going on Tinder, Hinge, or whatever else. Either way, by taking part in club culture, these women are throwing themselves out into the dating pool. Chad and Tyrone don't see that wedding ring as a force field. At the very least, they just see it as a challenge. The top comments. The switch up is crazy. It has nothing to do with insecurity. Proceeds to describe insecurity. And if they're going out all the time, that's probably a red flag. But if it's every now and then it's more about trust than anything. The last one here clearly missed the mark completely. These chicks have been trapped in Plato's cave for so long that the magnitude of a simple question left them virtually speechless. When the first girl tried to mention insecurity, it was a clear sign of feminist indoctrination. Instead of being open to the reality that this decision leads to infidelity, she immediately went on the defensive. Again, the girls being questioned don't even realize that progressive behavior is thought behavior. Just because you tear the label off a bottle of bleach and write milk in Sharpie doesn't mean you're now able to drink it. Real men know that countless women are using Western decline to explore their options, all while they have a man at home working their ass off. It's the very reason we find it so difficult to trust them. Men, if you find yourself arguing with a woman about whether the club is a good idea, it's time to ask her to get out of the passenger seat. She belongs to the streets. Plant your foot on the gas and start a new life devoid of disappointment and doubt. There's no reason to keep up the charade, and there's no reason to empty your wallet. Let someone like the guy writing the last comment deal with the rationality hamster bouncing around in her brain. She'll probably cry out insecurity like the first one in this clip, but it won't be your problem anymore. If you ask us, that's a pretty beautiful thing.
Once again, the world has proven every man is the same. Ironic, isn't it? Yesterday I got a message from a random number telling me how I'm an awful, disgusting person. It was European guy's girlfriend. I'm done crying. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. And believe me, if I did know, I wouldn't even have said hi to him, let alone look at him. I could care less about Bryce. He can get hit by a truck for all I care. All I care about is the girl. She was with him for 3 years. For someone to cheat on you for that many years is insane. And then she told me this isn't the first time that he did this. Man, I don't care about me. I just care about that girl. I talked to her all night making sure she was okay. She told me how love is such BS. I was like, tell me about it. He made me think he liked me. I just care about her. I look pretty.
The martyr complex continues. At this point, the Western woman throwing herself at European men isn't even a stereotype. It's as prevalent as vanilla ice cream and as American as apple pie. This 304 is going to carry this experience around for the rest of her life, claiming to be a victim when she didn't even do the due diligence to prevent something like this in the first place. As soon as the other chick came out of the woodwork to criticize her, she did what society taught her to do: point the finger. Using the tired and dead phrase, all men are the same. The makeup portion of this is almost too perfect. All she needs is the clown wig to make this the perfect meme. A Man Guide fan in our comment section once posted, "I can't wait to see what most of these 304's life looks like in 10 years. Hope they don't stop posing to keep us up to date on their tragic clown world situation." Something tells us we'll be hearing from this gynocentric jester in no time, and part of this can be attributed to the blindly supportive comment section. Here are just some examples. Lala, just take a breath from dating. At least wait for a few months, then you'll find your match. Okay, now this is a reason to cry. I could never fall in love with a man named Bryce because of 13 reasons why. However, this only reveals part of the story. Here are a few others. Lala, we went through this. We went, through this, Lala? And one more to make it real. Why does this happen every time, Lala, please? Amidst the blind support, we finally have our answer. To all those following MGTOW, this is about as shocking as hearing that cigarettes cause cancer. This Western thought is a repeat offender, which not only explains her take on men, but also why she found herself in this place to begin with. She reacts to this recurrence like it's a big surprise, but if she actually took a step back, she'd realize she only has herself to blame. The modern woman racks up a body count with guys that replicate initial pair bonding. We all know this stuff by heart, and this case is no different. Which is why asking a girl how many people they've slept with is so important. If you find yourself making them angry, well, you have your answer. When a simp foolishly gets married to a chick who's been with dozens of guys, you're no longer competing for her affection. Not even close. Rather, you're competing with the countless other guys that successfully ran through her. Every gesture you make will be instantly compared to the Chad and Tyrone that got there first. You'll find yourself constantly failing in the war against her twisted nostalgia. One of the social media's few saving graces is that a competent guy will see this vid and run for the hills.
Why does only the lady have to wear a ring and say, "I'm claimed," but the...
Hi. I used to work in the jewelry industry, and I think I have an answer to your question. Women are cheap. And I don't mean in like a frugal way, I mean just cheap. I have sold well over 250 plus engagement rings in my time in the jewelry industry. And the custom is, right, the man will come in and buy the engagement ring for the woman, but the woman is supposed to buy the wedding band for the man. It's supposed to signify, like a partnership. Like I do for you, you do for me kind of thing. And 9 times out of 10, and I really stress 9 times out of 10, the woman would come in and buy the cheapest, and I mean the cheapest, tungsten wedding band I've ever seen. It's ugly. It doesn't fit. She doesn't know his ring size. I had a woman buy a thin blue line wedding band one time. Her fiance wasn't even a cop. I mean, I was only the salesman, so what do I know?
Well, from what the data shows, she was probably thinking about her cop ex-boyfriend when she bought it. In the world of Western marriages, everything down to the ring is a one-way street, and it always leads to the wife's purse. One of the most ridiculous standards for wedding ring purchases is that they should cost 3 months' salary. What makes this so ridiculous is that women often have no idea what kind of work is required to complete such a request. Many men are working life-threatening jobs, breaking their backs to build a foundation for their future families. Additionally, many Western women will request an engagement ring first, often doubling the original cost. The jeweler here is literally right on the money. Most of these future wives can't even conceive a reality where they would have to buy something as expensive as a diamond for their husbands, and yet they shamelessly expect it from a man they're statistically going to leave in the next 5 years. It's a long con, and luckily, everyone watching this knows not to waste their value on a woman that clearly does not respect them. Here are the top comments. My wife bought me a tungsten band. Am I the only guy that would prefer an M5 competition instead of the wedding band? I also used to work in jewelry, and I'd be deeply offended if I received a tungsten wedding band. On the bright side, it looks like a majority of men are waking up to the nonsense that is Western marriage. A commitment this expensive and fleeting should never have become a trend in the first place. If you were told to throw your wallet down a well, and then told that you'd have a chance to retrieve half of it later, you'd ask that person to seek medical attention. Slap the label of matrimony on the proposition, and suddenly, every unenlightened simp turns into a basketball player at the free throw line. Men, it's time to open up that leather fold and gaze upon the green glory that comes from a hard day's work. If you plan on taking those bills to the nearest jeweler, make sure the item you're purchasing is a Rolex and not a band that signifies the loss of true independence. There was a time when buying a ring meant security, but if you're honest with yourself, those days are long gone without a trip overseas. A nice exercise would be to think about all the things you could buy instead of an overpriced liability. Maybe it's a sheep clunker to take out into the desert with your boys, or a trip to an exotic destination you always dreamed of visiting. No matter how you cut it, these decisions will leave you with your finances and dignity intact.
I need a hard-working woman that can take care of me, pay all the bills, while
I bind you in the name of Jesus. Out of this place. Principalities are power.
Like, if you broke, just say that. See, well, what I realized from these reactions, like, a lot of women just can't afford me. Nor are they tall enough. If you're not 6 feet or above, you have no chance with me. If you don't make 6 figures, you don't stand a chance. And it's like, for real, like, if y'all broke, just say that. If y'all can't take care of a man, why even try to waste your time talking to him? You're broke. You don't make 6 figures. You can't afford me. How are you going to pay for my haircut every 2 weeks? How are you? You can't afford me. You see the barber prices? You can't afford it. If you're a woman and you're not above 6 feet, you don't make 6 figures, we're done. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Go to work, go get your bag up, and then we can conversate.
There's the clown wig we were looking for earlier. It's always nice when a joke comes full circle. Get this guy a show on Netflix because this was satire at its finest. The woman reacting to this clip can't even fathom a reality where she would have to carry the weight, because she undoubtedly never lifted a brick in her entire life that wasn't attached to the male torso. She probably lived many of her days manipulating others into giving everything she has the audacity to call her own. Raising the Bible to imply she's casting out a demon just makes this bit that much sweeter, and this is exactly how these women react to facts and logic. She is yet another pastor for the feminist faith, doing her best to ward off reality like some dark force. But she's not fooling anyone. The mania in her eyes tells the whole story. Our friend here clearly isn't implying that he needs a sugar mama. Anyone with half a brain can see this as comedy. He's just highlighting a pervasive double standard women in the West just can't recognize. This is why so many of these 304s lead miserable lives. They aren't equipped to deal with the responsibilities that follow what they perceive as male privileges. Let's look at the comments here. Never settle for less, king. Like, all we ask is the bare minimum. Bro putting on a masterclass. And lastly, yo, how can they not see this as satire? We have an easy answer for this one. The truth is, all modern women, both biologically and culturally, are effectively humorless. It's the same reason you don't see many female comics on your screen that aren't physically attractive. Comedy is something men had to refine for centuries, as it is an effective mating tactic when trying to get a Fiona into the sack. Sure, we love to make each other laugh. Otherwise, this clip wouldn't be so hilarious, but women never really had to work on that skill. It's just another example of what males had to do to build functional societies. Since the dawn of time, the only role women really had in this dance was acceptance, which is why so many chicks find themselves upset. The magnetic force of Western feminism has screwed up their moral compass. Consequently, they always head in the wrong direction, blaming competent males when they fail to find the true north. Again, on the bright side, men are now laughing their way to the bank. We keep our wallets close, our bodies strong, and our minds sharp. As feminism continues to go up in flames, we stand here raising a glass to every brother wise enough to understand the layout of that losing game. Our foresight is just too accurate now, and we're all the better because of it.
One of the reasons why my standards are so high is because my parents. But today, let's talk about my dad. My dad treats me like the princess I am, alright? My dad has 2 daughters, right? And I'm the youngest, so I grew up a little spoiled, I know. But his main love language is like cooking food for people, right? I've been home for 2 weeks, helping my parents, visiting home, doing all of that. And ever since I hopped off the plane, this man has been making my favorite food every single day for the last 2 weeks. We were driving home at 1 a.m. and I was just telling him all like the new restaurants I've been to, all of my new favorite foods, what I like, what I don't like. And he kept it in his head because it's the way I didn't even ask for him to make special dishes for me, but he did it because he wanted to. He wanted to see me happy, all right? One of my favorite dishes that he make is like this spicy curry squid, and he knows that I fucking love this dish, right? He made it 2 times for me because he knows that I love this dish so much. Then I was talking about how much I love chicken pho, which is like pho gal, right? And my dad doesn't really like pho gal like that, but he pulled it off. And he made it because I like it. So my dad has always done this thing where I'll go eat at a restaurant, come home, tell him about it, and then he's like, I can make that shit better. Then I was telling him how often I go out to eat bún bò Huế, which is a spicy Vietnamese beef noodle soup. And man's made it. And he was like, is it better than restaurants? Hell yeah, it was. Hell yeah, it was. Basically, my father has instilled to me, and he always tells me to this day, if a man wanted to, he would. If a man cares about you, he's going to remember what you liked. Yeah. So that's why my standards are so high.
She wrote in the video description, keep your standards high, y'all. This would be great if she was a traditional, but she's on TikTok, so it supercharged the bedwench's standards. If she was quality, she'd be worth being spoiled to a degree. She'd have a ring on her finger, and most importantly, she'd not be on social media. Her dad is giving her the false expectations that men should be cooking for her, when it's the woman's job to do so in a relationship. I'm talking about a traditional relationship where the man works and the woman stays at home. Don't talk to me about this 50-50 feminist BS power couple relationship because it rarely works. Maybe once in a while the man can cook for his significant other for a special occasion or if he loves to grill every Sunday. Let's read the comments. Top comment says, my dad puts gas in my car and washes it every week. You'll do anything for me at the drop of a dime. My ex used to say, I'm not your dad. This is all and great, but these thoughts aren't traditional women. They're not living with their parents until a man takes their hand in marriage. No, they're thoughting it up, and this just adds to their entitlement. The ex was right to bounce. Why should he be with a 304 who wants the princess treatment? Another comment. Girls, same. If I tell my dad I love coconut water, this man will go to Sam's Club to get 5 cases for me. And these dads who come from traditional countries are going to be disappointed when they realize it was all for nothing, because the West has ruined their daughters. If you're a father, especially in the MGTOW, as your daughter gets older, you need to treat her well only if she acts traditional and ladylike. If she doesn't, you have to tell her you don't reward 304 behavior. That she'll only get benefits if she stays a virgin, learns to cook, cleans, and stays off of social media. This will prepare her for marriage. If she wants benefits, she needs to stay pure and dutiful. Dude comments, that's why I've been learning to cook for the future girlfriends. That's the wrong direction, my guy. Your cooking for her isn't going to get the results you want. These modern women aren't qualified to be romanced because they'll look at it as simping or take the free benefits. Like, you'll cook the best meal for her and she'll leave that night to Chad and Tyrone's house for dessert.
It's Valentine's Day. Of course I'm in a long-distance relationship, so I'm gonna feel lonely on Valentine's Day, even though I have a whole man. It's Valentine's Day. Of course my man has the absolute audacity to live in another state. How rude. It's Valentine's Day. Of course I'm gonna watch all 3 To All the Boys I've Ever Loved Before movies on Netflix to fill the empty void I have because I'm spending Valentine's Day alone even though I have a whole man. It's Valentine's Day. Of course I'm gonna buy myself chocolates, flowers, and whatnot because I deserve it. Because I'm an independent woman and I don't need to spend Valentine's Day with no man because he has the absolute audacity to live in a whole nother state. And it's a love day. And frankly, I just love myself. Okay? Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
I've got some news for her. That'll spoil her quote-unquote long-distance relationship. That's not a relationship, she's a long-distance booty call. Dude's smashing other chicks wherever he's at, and maybe he's even taking out another female for Valentine's Day. Because if he really cared about her, he'd be with her or she'd be with him. And no wonder why he's in another state. Her masculine independence boss lady rhetoric is annoying.
Every single guy on planet Earth says that they like younger women. And every single girl on planet Earth says that's not okay. So why do guys want younger women?
That's the harsh truth women need to understand is accepting male nature. The only chance a man will ever find that fairy tale with a woman is if he is potentially going after a younger woman who is more fertile, who probably hasn't had as much life experience and hasn't been with as many guys. So men like younger women because, yes, they are hotter, they are cuter because obviously they're still in their younger years of being at their peak beauty. But you have to remember this, for a man to want to invest and commit into a woman, her past matters.
Because older women are leftover and damaged goods. Would you rather eat a rotten fruit on the ground or a fresh one off of the vine? Would you rather drink fresh milk or spoiled milk? And I can go on with multiple analogies. The older a woman is in the feminist West, the more we're going to assume she has slept around. Sleeping around has negative long-term consequences. Why? Because of biology. Because of Mother Nature. Females inherently know that sharing their bodies with multiple men over an extended period of time is a bad thing, and that's why they can get a yeast infection, and that's how it exactly happens from sleeping around. Along with STDs and so on, and more so, hooking up all the time is physically exhausting and mentally it's an unhealthy lifestyle. This is precisely why 1 out of 4 females in the West are on some sort of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication. They're depressed because they know they're not worth much in the way of a long-term relationship. They're also depressed because their bodies can't handle being dumped, ghosted, and played because their bodies are built to pair bond, so they can follow a husband's lead, which makes the strongest family unit. Let's see what people have to say. Top comment says, most girls over 25 to 26 have kids. Why would I want a kid that's not mine? Exactly. That's called cucking, and being a stepfather is taking all the risks of the marriage and raising kids and without any of the rewards. 2 comments noted, and every girl on earth wants an older man. Wait, women go for older men? Age with men is the opposite effect on women. The older we are, the more masculine appeal we'll have, because we've figured out some shit. Maybe been in a war or two, but what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Post-wall comments, complete BS. I know girls in their 20s who have been with more men than I have, and I'm in my 40s. She's conflating women being more hoes with social media now, with age. Sure, 20-year-olds today have slept with more men than 40-year-olds 25 years ago, but in general, age is a rough indicator to the number of men they have slept with, if they're still single. The exception doesn't make the rule.
When I was dating my ex, I went to Texas for like a month, and I told him, if you want to like go on a break and see other people while I'm gone, you can. He did not want to do that, so we stayed together. Cut to, I come back from Texas, and I just had a feeling, you know? And one day when he was asleep, I went through his phone, and I found a message from a girl saying that the girl who he fucked was telling people he R-worded her. Obviously, I woke him the fuck up and I bitched him out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a walk. So I went to the store, and when I come fucking back from the store, do you know what this man is doing? He had the flimsiest fucking shoelace wrapped around his neck, laying on the ground, and he had that string attached to the bottom of the dresser as if that was gonna actually... That's not how gravity works.
That just goes to show how much these modern women don't know how serious and life-threatening a false accusation is to a male. She was acting like he was crying about scraping his knee. A false accusation can end a man's life, and it has. If he goes to prison with a bad charge like that, he can get stabbed for just existing. He'll lose his job, he'll be shamed for the rest of his life. And let's not pretend she's the angel in this. She went to Texas and suggested that they take a break. Why do you think she brought that up before she left? Maybe she probably set her Tinder profile location in Texas and matched with at least one guy to hook up with. The only difference is that she doesn't have to worry about a false accusation. For guys in the West, it's playing Russian roulette every time he hooks up with a modern woman. And in this guy's case, the female he hooked up with probably found out he wasn't single and she got, then rescinded her consent after the fact, even though you can't do that, and claimed he did her against her will, for revenge. This dumb thought didn't even blink when he tried to delete himself. She even wrote in the video description, "He waited for me to come back from the store to make fake choking sounds as if he was actually hurting himself. Sir, you're laying down with a string on you. It's not doing anything to you, you're literally just wearing a soft necklace and pretending it hurts." It looks like he was crying in the video, which is now deleted. Let's see the dumpster fire of comments. One of the top comments says, "You offered to let him see other people and he be like, nah, it doesn't feel as good if I have permission." There they go, blaming the victim. It's more like he said no originally to honor his relationship commitment, then after she left, he thought to himself, wait a minute, why would she offer a cheating pass to me when she's the one traveling out of state? And did the math that she basically gave herself permission to cheat. Then he has a fling with someone which was the wrong person to do that with clearly. And at the end of the day, he was still honest with her and she still shitted on him. Because I'm sure she wasn't faithful on her trip. Look at her. There's 10 piercing reasons, including the Joker green hair, why she wouldn't be. Another comment. OMG, I was having a bad day when I heard this. Was I seeing something different? Were they watching the same video? This apparently was entertaining to these thoughts. Unbelievable. And that's true. A single mom is only a flex in the degenerate West. In the rest of the world, it's seen as an embarrassment. Single moms are seen as bedwenches and aren't trustworthy around other men. And what hurts her the most, if you can't read the caption, is that it's hard to watch the man who helped make a child living their best life when you're the one fighting for everything. So it looks like the man she dumped or he dumped her is better off, as in she was the deadweight. And that's to a woman's ego, is soul crushing. When they finally figure out they're the problem, not everyone else. And modern women just can't stand their ex doing better. It's worse than rejection. It's saying he's better than them. Because if she was better than him, she wouldn't be crying because she would have found another man to replace him. But great men don't want to be stepfathers and clean up another man's mess. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Top comment. All single moms unite. We got this as a village. No mom left behind, only deadbeat dads. Sure, the only time the dad is a deadbeat is when these thoughts try to baby trap Chad and Tyrone, as in they used a booty call at 3 a.m. to try to marry a 10% man with a baby. The whole comment section is full of single moms. Another comment. While it's a total struggle, anyone notice you cry less being out of the marriage? Or is it just me? I'll take single mom living every day. That's because these streetwalkers were never qualified for marriage. Another single mom comments, I like being a single mother though. And the female in the video responds, I like being single. I don't like being solely responsible for responsibilities that should be shared. I love me freedom and doing my thing. And there you have it, gents. She likes the freedom of being single without the consequences. If you need something to sum up feminism or modern women, it's modern women want the freedom of spending other people's money. Being a single mom is only a problem because it interferes with their thought and bedwench lifestyle. The kid is just an accessory to them being an HOE. You can't make this shit up. You heard it directly from the female's mouth. What more do you need to go MGTOW? As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.